Liam Coen Jaguars Buccaneers situation is absolutely insane. It's like a storyline out of a soap opera or WWE or something like that. So the backdrop today is Pat McAfee. We are going to be talking about the Liam Coen saga in the Bucs / Jaguars. Let's roll.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow, there's chaos. There's absolute chaos. There's been a lot of terrible things said about this guy from the people of Tampa Bay. Liam Coen, the new head
Scumbag is like one of the main things that people in Tampa Bay are saying.
coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congrats to him. I think there's been a lot of potential misreporting. Maybe. I don't know. Reports say this, reports say this, reports say that. There's been chaos through this Liam Coen situation. All started Sunday, January 12th.
Yeah, so basically this is what I've heard. Now, he said, she said, she said, he said. But from what I understand, Coen goes to Jacksonville, okay, has an interview. On a separate call with Shad Khan, he says, like, look, how married are you to Trent Baalke? And on that call, Khan was like, brother, I'll fire his ass if I have the right reason. So Coen goes back to Tampa. Coen tells Tampa, I'm staying, baby. I'm ready to roll. Tells the players that he's running it back, like all that stuff. The Bucs offer him a contract. Khan and them fire Baalke, call Coen. Coen no-shows the signing of the contract, doesn't answer any of the Tampa Bay phone calls. From what I've heard, he said he told them like he had like a medical emergency or a family emergency or something, a.k.a. he's hightailing it down to Jacksonville, gets to Jacksonville, spends all day there, signs the contract, never says nothing to Tampa. So that's what I've heard. Is it, again, he said, she said.
Jags owner says GM Baalke would be fired if a new head coach wants him out. Remember, this is on a Zoom call. We saw it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Shad Khan, and Trent Baalke were sitting on a Zoom. They were the only two on a screen. He was asked, if a new coach wants a new GM, would you do it? He goes, absolutely, I get rid of this guy if that's what a coach wants. Baalke just has to sit there and take it. He's been there for a long, long time. Then on Wednesday, Coen interviews on Zoom. Then on Monday, January 20th, Coen interviews in person. Remember, Baker Mayfield is not getting people jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Baker Mayfield's success has gotten people jobs. Obviously, Canales with Carolina, now with Liam Coen. Then on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2 days after he interviews in person, allegedly he withdrew his name from the Jaguars head coaching search and got a deal from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to either double his salary, but at least make it the biggest coordinator.
Yeah, the biggest coordinator, highest paid coordinator in the NFL is basically the deal Tampa offers.
Salary in the history of the NFL. We reach out to some people that know this world well. And we said, hey, when somebody removes their name from a head coaching search, why is it? Or it gets reported that a coach removes his name from a head coaching search, what does that mean? Well, it potentially means that the owner of the team he's currently on said, hey, here's a new deal. All you do is remove your name. You'd rather have bird in the hand than two in the bush. You'd rather have a guaranteed massive contract than a potential massive contract. Or that person thinks that they're not going to get the job. We're not going to do the song and dance anymore. Want to refocus. Well, it was reported that he was given a massive pay increase to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Once again, we don't know if Liam Coen said any of this. This is all the things that are just being reported. Then you go a day later. Coen didn't sign his contract. He meets with the Jags again. And
now, see, here, this is where things get a little crazy. Because it's one thing if it's like, he didn't meet, he didn't sign, he went to talk to Jacksonville. That's all kind of chill because things change, right? He wanted Baalke out. Baalke's out. All right, time to reconsider. But the fact that, or the alleged rumors that he was ghosting Tampa, wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't they had no clue where the hell he was. They're sitting there with the table with the contract and the pen, expecting him to walk in. He's got the windows down listening to Jimmy Buffett blasting down the interstate. And then the whole thing about them saying, like, oh, he said that there was a medical emergency or his family or whatever. And really, he's just, like, all that is scumbag behavior.
Secrecy, allegedly. Then we get to last night. He's offered the job. Now he's making $13 million a year, allegedly. For the next 5 years, it's like $60 million or something. Yeah. Joining us now is
yeah, I mean, and let me say this, too. Like, I'm really surprised that a lot of, like, Saints fans have been like, well, why didn't the Saints do this? Like, why aren't they operating like Jacksonville? I would say to that, this is the last way you want your team to operate. The last way you want your team to operate is a to have a guy who was the offensive coordinator for a team for 1 year, does a good job, and all of a sudden you're willing to make him give him Ben Johnson money. You're willing to fire your GM. You're willing to flip the entire franchise around on a dime just because of this guy. Like, that is not how you want your franchise to operate. Now, I'll tell you this. There is a reason the Jacksonville Jaguars are Hall of Fame levels of suck for the last however many years, 15 years. These guys have picked in the top 10 for seemingly every draft ever. Can't do nothing, can't win nothing, ain't know nothing. And this is why the team is a bunch of losers. This is why the team sucks every year. This is why they underperform every year. This is why they go get Urban Meyer, and then that doesn't work out, and then they get someone else, and then that doesn't work out, and then they get somebody else, and then that doesn't work out. This is why, okay? Because this franchise has absolutely no structure. It's complete shooting from the hip. It's quick impulse, drastic decisions. This is not. If I was Jacksonville, I would have told Liam Coen, hit the bricks, brother. Like, if this is how you're going to operate, if this is how it's going to be to get a deal done, who the hell do you think you are? So, I'm glad the Saints don't operate like this, and I can't believe some people see this and they're like, man, that seems like a really well-run organization.
Probably knows the ins and outs a little bit better. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans are saying this guy's a scumbag. Mm-hmm. This guy is a scumbag. But if you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, you got to be pumped that Trevor Lawrence is going to get an offensive guru to potentially get everything rolling over there. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Yeah, Schefter.
Schefter.
Damn, Schefter, get it together. But, I think that's funny, too, where it's like, he's an offensive guru. He's an offensive god. It's like, is he? He did a good job for a year, cool. All right. We'll see. Is he that much different than Clint Kubiak or Kellen Moore or Joe Brady? Or probably not, right? So, it seems like the Jaguars were scared to death that they were not going to get their guy and they were going to be kind of just out in the open. I'll tell you this. I have a sneaky feeling if Jacksonville could redo this, they would not have done this, because all of a sudden now, Joe Brady, Kellen Moore, there's a bunch of candidates out there. So I feel like Jacksonville overreached big time. They over-purchased, way over-purchased.
We know you're very busy. We appreciate the hell out of you. It was reported, all these things about Liam Coen. He withdrew his name. He did this. He did that. His wife has come out and said that their kid was sick during all of this. So what's real? What do you think is real? What isn't at this moment, Schefter?
Well, I think there's two different sides of this, okay? I think Liam Coen would tell you that he feels like this was his right. And by the way, in the NFL, with contracts, even if there's a signed contract as a coordinator, it is within your rights to go take a head coaching job.
Yeah, let me make that clear. I don't blame anybody for doing whatever their best, whatever they feel like is best for them. I don't blame anybody for doing it, no matter how underhanded it is, no matter how much of a scumbag you might be to get to where you got to go. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, you got to, do what's best for your career. And if that means pissing off an entire franchise and locker room and being a complete backstabbing scumbag, if that's what it takes, fine. Who cares? That's how you climb the corporate ladder in most companies, right? So I don't blame anybody for doing it, but I'm also not going to sit here and be like, yeah, this was a real ethical thing to do. Does it really matter at the end of the day? No. Just like Bill Belichick when he, quit with the Jets and went to New England, and just like Saban when he's telling reporters, I'm not coaching the University of Alabama. Next day he's coaching the University of Alabama. In the grand scheme of things, do those things really matter? No. Are they the best? Are they the better decision for that person? Yes. But you can still sit there and say, yeah, that was still scumbag behavior.
Anywhere else you want. I think that he felt like the Buccaneers, right or wrong, I'm just telling you what he felt like, the Buccaneers strong-armed him into this deal, and he signed the deal, and the Buccaneers would say, we made him the highest-paid coordinator in NFL history.
It's not exactly strong-arming.
And then when we tried to figure out where he was, we could not find him throughout the course of the day on Thursday to get him to sign that contract.
There you go. That doesn't sound like strong-arming to me. Tampa, he withdraws his name, okay? Whether that's because Tampa offers him this huge deal, whatever, comes time to sign, Tampa's calling him. This guy ain't answering. Like, it seems like that is pretty much set. Like, it seems like that's kind of what happened here.
And they say that they reached out multiple times. He says he was in touch with Todd Bowles and informed him of his decision to interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, there are two different versions to this and how this is going to go. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
We'll mute you. There's obviously a couple Saints in Dallas are now the only remaining head coaching spots.
So this is obviously recorded before Dallas made Brian Schottenheimer, LOL, their head coach.
Schefter potentially is getting information on that, or maybe an OC job or DC job at one of these new places. He's head turned to the side. Yeah, I'm on TV. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, here we go, and we're back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Yep. So, again, I think Liam Coen has his thoughts, and the Buccaneers have their thoughts. Well, yeah, and you can believe whatever you want. I'm just telling you there's two different schools of thought.
Yeah, always going to be the situation.
I would say this. In 20 years, this century, since the turn of the century, I don't remember the last time I heard one team this hot and bothered about a coach taking another deal. Like,
yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that the Bucs got screwed. I think it's pretty obvious, or not screwed, but I think it's pretty obvious that they were left on the altar. You know, I think from everything it sounds like, whether you think Liam Coen was doing what he had to do or whatever, like, I think it's pretty obvious that the Bucs were trying to call him, trying to get in touch with him, couldn't get in touch with him. They had a verbal agreement he was going to sign a contract. They got there to sign the contract, and he's on the interstate.
They were hot. But by the way, his side is like, we didn't do anything wrong. We were exploring our rights. We took this contract. We let them know. Again, you believe what you want to believe. I'm just the messenger giving you all the sides of the story.
Standard operating procedure, though, from ownership, whenever a coach is potentially in the mix for another head coaching job, a coordinator, is to offer a little bit more money to withdraw the name, though, right? This is standard operating procedure, the way this normally works?
Withdraw the name? What do you mean? You froze there for a moment. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you there, Pat.
Okay, so whenever an owner comes to a coordinator and his name is up for a job, this is very normal procedure from teams to offer a big pay raise to withdraw your name, right?
I don't think that's standard. I think that this was...
Yeah, I think usually... Yeah, but it's definitely not standard. I think usually what happens is the coordinator leaves. I don't think usually a team is like, you know what? We'll make you the highest paid coordinator, stay. I think what's going on here with Tampa is like, this has happened back-to-back years. And they're in a good situation. I think they feel like they have a good roster. They have a good team. They have a good infrastructure. I think they're cool with what they have going on. So in their mind, they were probably thinking, we're cool with Bowles as the head coach. If we can get Coen locked in for a long-term deal as our offensive coordinator, we don't have to worry about this turnover every single year if we're successful. So I think this is Tampa's way. It's not literally like what they were doing, but it's almost like a co-head coach where he's the head coach of the offense, he's the head coach of the defense, and the man manager. Let's rock and roll for a few years here. So this was their attempt at that, and that is certainly not standard operating procedure.
As an exception, they were making him the highest paid coordinator.
Yeah,
but I think his camp felt like they were being, again, I'll use that word, strong-armed into a deal, and I don't know why but they felt that way. That's how they felt.
I mean, if you're getting paid the highest paid offensive coordinator job, you're not getting strong-armed.
And the Buccaneers say, yeah, we should be so fortunate to be strong-armed into a deal that would make us the highest paid coordinator in the game. Like, again, everybody's got their side. So I'm trying to be fair to everybody here, and it's not easy because there's a lot of different versions of how this is going down. Yeah. So
sounds like Adam is team Tampa.
I can just tell you that, like I said, I don't remember the last time I heard a team that irate over a coaching decision.
Okay, so Tampa's pissed. All right, we shall see how that ends up. Liam Coen now is the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. AJ, chaos around this entire story. I don't know if you've been keeping up.
I have, and so Schefter, when Schefter was like taken aback and said he's never seen a franchise respond like the Tampa, like as pissed off as the Tampa Bay Bucs were. So, what exactly did Liam Coen do that they are so pissed off about?
So I think it is
ghost him, not answer the phone, meet in secret with another team, signed the deal with Jacksonville without telling Tampa until the last minute, not giving them any heads up of what's happening, leaving them at the altar, making them look like absolute stooges by going to do this contract signing and he doesn't show. Mostly that, I guess.
I don't think he heard me ask this question. His internet was freezing. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was.
A lot of crap.
Yeah,
internet.
A lot of in and out at his house right now.
Yeah, he was getting throttled a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't want to see Shefty win.
No.
This is the most busy time. But I think once we saw Liam Coen reported that he pulled his name from the Jacksonville Jaguars, there's normally two different reasons why you do that. One, you think somebody else is getting the job, so you don't want to do the whole song and dance. Or two, your team has offered you a pay increase to remove your name from the conversation.
Or three, you're trying to leverage the other team. You're making them call your bluff. You're saying, all right, you know what? I'm withdrawing. I'm out of here. And you're forcing them to do something crazy like fire their GM and make give you Ben Johnson money.
It was reported that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave him quite a pay raise to become the highest paid offensive coordinator or coordinator just in general in NFL history to remove his name from the conversation. Don't do the second in-person visit. And then he is found in the Jacksonville Jaguars building doing the second in-person visit. So I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team thinks that was shady business out of Liam Coen. You lied to us. You lied to us.
Yeah.
Well, Shad Khan has seemingly got his guy, and he was trying to tell Coen as such. And was there a chance that Liam Coen said, I'm not coming here with Baalke? Why the hell would I do that? You fire Baalke, maybe I'll reconsider. Yep. And then Shad Khan says, you got it. I'll do that. And then Liam Coen now has to reconsider his entire situation. It is such a good reality show down there. Are they better now than they were?
I mean, they have a coach now. I don't know how much it really changed. Like, it depends. You know, it's just like every first round. We're getting to the point, honestly, where these coordinators are basically first round quarterbacks. Where if you go back to the NFL draft, you're going to hear a ton of people telling you how great Trey Lance is. You're going to hear a ton of people telling you how great Zach Wilson is. You're going to hear a ton of people telling you how great Josh Freeman is. That's a deep cut. You're going to hear a lot of people telling you how great Johnny Manziel is. Or random, Darius Hayward Bay is another deep cut. You're going to hear all that stuff. Robert Gallery, whatever. And then they don't work out. And that's how these coordinators are, where it's like, yeah, this guy, offensive god, he'll be able to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence. He's an offensive genius. Like, how many times have we seen that with these coordinators now where they come in and they just can't coach? Bobby Slowick was the exact same guy a year ago. Bobby Slowick was Liam Coen 12 months ago. And Bobby Slowick just got fired. Okay? So we're getting to the point to where these are basically unknown draft picks, and everyone thinks they're the savior, and then they go 10 games under 500 and get fired.
A week and a half, 2 weeks ago is the only question for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, I guess, they have a head coach now, but I think that you're putting a lot of, faith in him because he's going to be instrumental in picking the GM, right? And you got a first-time head coach he only has 5 years of NFL coaching experience.
Yeah, and then like the Ram stuff, like he was the OC for the Ram. Hey, spoiler alert, guys, Sean McVay is calling plays for the Rams. So, like, Sean McVay is the offensive coordinator for the Rams. Pete Carmichael was the offensive coordinator for the Saints for 15 years. He couldn't draw up a play in a crayon factory. Okay, so what does that really mean? I would say not much. Okay, so you got a guy with like very little experience, and you are handing the entire franchise to. Oh, and also, he ain't just calling plays. When you're bringing this guy in to do this, you're bringing him in to lead the locker room, plan the practices, plan the travel, handle the draft. You're doing everything. So, do we know he can do that? No, we don't know he can do that. So, they're risking a whole lot here for a relatively unknown.
Like he's been with McVay and what he did turning around, like the numbers of where Tampa Bay was last year compared to this year is obviously, very impressive. But I mean, that's for a franchise who hasn't won in a long time and have been a shit show. I think there was a stat that said Shad Khan can win 86 games in a row and he'd still be under 500. So that's putting a lot on a guy's plate who's never done anything.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, this is why the Jaguars are who they are. They've drafted a quarterback in the top 10 picks 3 times in the last however many years, and it's just been an unmitigated disaster no matter what. They had back-to-back first overall picks, complete disaster. They this is a team that is who they are, and this is why. So, yeah, if you're one of the Saints fans or whoever else that are saying like, man, I sure do wish my owner acted like this, it's like, man, I don't think you do. But let me know in the comments below what you think. I will see you in the next video.